all, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the newest episode of the Santa Clauses. And this is actually a pretty interesting one, because I actually think this is probably my favorite one of the series. So let's go ahead and get started reviewing the newest episode of the Santa Claus. The Santa Clauses. Alright, so for me, I thought that this actually explored something really interesting about the new Santa Claus. So, basically, you know, the whole series is about, you know, Tim Allen Santa Claus finally retiring because his Christmas spirit is not in the air anymore, and his magic isn't working like it used to, so he's gonna find someone else to be Santa Claus. And you find this guy that has drones, and at first I was like, that's a smart idea, but how do you make that into a cool idea? In that the whole idea of that guy's company is he gives people what they want when they want it. And when you have that and making Christmas every day, that's actually a really interesting storyline where but at the same time, it's like he's kind of making Christmas worse, where we don't really get to see, where we kind of don't really get to, like, part of it does work, but then parts of it don't. But at the same time, it's like you kind of see how he becomes the villain in it. And I honestly thought it was cool, because like when I first saw the trailer for this show, I was like, oh, so someone's gonna become new Santa Claus, and then he's gonna become evil, and then he's gonna have to come back and rescue the North Pole. And I'm like, oh my god, not Santa Claus 2 again. Which, don't get me wrong, I like Santa Claus 2, and both movies are both. This show and this movie and that movie is different, because Santa Claus 2, the reason why he left the North Pole was because he had to find Mrs. Claus. In this show, he left because he retired. And I guess you could say both the Nutcracker Claus and this new Santa Claus are different. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the next 3 episodes, I believe. I don't know how many episodes there are going to be in this show. But then also, when you get to the stuff with Scott Calvin and his family, it's actually pretty interesting, because everyone finds what they're good at. Where the brother goes to school, meets a girl, the daughter goes with the horse girls, the wife Carol becomes a principal of a school, and Scott doesn't really know what he's good at. But then he realizes he's the Santa Claus of his own family. And so, yeah, I thought it did a lot of great stuff with that. And honestly, it just gets me really excited for what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes or so. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 4. Episode 4 of the Santa Claus. So now let's talk about the bad of this episode. And honestly, when you watch this episode in particular, I'm liking this series. All right, I'm liking it. There's not really any episode that I was like, that's so corny, that's dope, that's not anything I like. This series, I feel like when you get to this episode, it just makes you feel like this series should have been a 4th Santa Claus film, because it's like there's a lot of ideas in here that could be explored in a film. You shouldn't really do in a series. So, and it's like all these episodes are like 30 minutes long or something, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. And I don't know, this series should have been a film. And it's like there's a lot of cool storylines, but it feels like they're almost rushed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, honestly, but hopefully the series does conclude nicely, and it is great. So I'm excited for the next 2 episodes. Cannot wait to see them. That's my thoughts on the Santa Clauses episode 4. Before I give my final score, be sure to comment down below what are your thoughts on episode 4 of the Santa Clauses. Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Right between? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. With that said, let's go on my scores. Alright, so that's it for my scores Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the About section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.